Well, it's been on the radar for a little while, but Galileo's finally done it. He's equalled his sire Sadler's world's record for 73 Group or Grade 1 winners worldwide. Group Bloodstock editor Mark Scully in the studio with me just to discuss what that achievement means. And Mark, first of all with Galileo, what is it about him that makes him such a good sire?
There are a number of factors. I think the first one is his versatility as a sire. If you look at the range of Group 1s that the 73 include, it's all sorts of distances, all sorts of age groups, so there's that. And I think the reason they have so much success is because he's able to stamp them in such a way they get the wonderful temperament from him. They're very easy to train. So you think about a horse like Australia, for example. Joseph O'Brien once spoke about he felt like he was almost falling asleep in the stalls one day before one of the big races. So they're so relaxed, they're easy to train. But then the wonderful thing about them is that they give so much effort in a race. You very rarely see a Galileo. You think of a horse like Highland Reel. They don't give up. They continue all the way to the line. They're battlers, and they have that mix of high class and brilliant determination. And they are the perfect match for Aidan O'Brien as a trainer as well, because he's obviously able to prepare them in such a way that they turn up at the races and are just the hardest horses to beat.
Yeah, and in terms of achievement, it took Sadler's Wells 24 years to reach this figure. It's only taken Galileo 16. Are we at the stage now we can say Galileo's a better sire than his father?
It's interesting the amount of time it's taken. It's actually taken Galileo quite a little bit of time to get here. I mean, for example, in the bloodstock department, we've been preparing for this for a very long time now. We expected it would happen sooner. He's, by his own high standards, perhaps not had the greatest year. Certainly not in terms of new Group 1 winners. It's hard to quantify. The piece in today's paper that Chris McGrath wrote speaks about it being very hard to quantify because you're talking about different eras, the pattern has changed, crop sizes are different. But I think it's important to remember that people sort of weren't necessarily convinced that Sadler's Wells was a great sire in the early stages. It took a while. Galileo came along quite late. I think Galileo is obviously going to go on to comfortably eclipse him, and you're now looking ahead to Danehill with his 84 Group 1 winners, and the likelihood is Galileo will probably get there one day as well. So I think probably yes, although it's one of those things like comparing footballers from different eras or things like that. It's difficult and fraught with risk, and people will always disagree. But do I think so? I think yes, he probably is.
And the heir apparent, is that Frankel?
Well, as I say, Galileo came along quite late for Sadler's Wells in the piece, so it's possible we haven't seen his best yet. At the moment, it does look like Frankel. He's doing all the right things at stud. He's producing Group 1 winners already himself from his first crop. He's clearly the best Galileo's produced yet. But who knows? He has so many at stud around the world, and as a sire of sires as well. Galileo is his influence is extending. So perhaps the best is yet to come. But yeah, I think Frankel is the one you're looking at. Coolmore would love to find one of their own. Obviously, Frankel standing at Banstead Manor for Juddmonte. Coolmore would dearly love to find the heir apparent for themselves, and perhaps they already have. Who knows? It could be Churchill, it could be Gleneagles, it could be Australia. Really, time will tell, and we could be looking. You're talking 5-10 year range before we truly know the answer to that question.
Yeah, all that still to come. But 73 Group 1 winners are not done with yet. That's the super sire Galileo.